Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. And you may be sitting looking at your screen right now and thinking, what's going on, Jingles? You appear to be joining this battle just as it's over. And yes, this is Captain Locke in the Soviet Tier 10 cruiser, the Moskva, and he's just been sunk. He's had a reasonable game, but, well, Captain Locke didn't send this replay in showcasing anything special that happened while he was still floating. Now, this particular replay is all about what happened after he'd died. We're switching to the perspective of the Atago on the team here, who is in serious trouble at the hands of this Iowa. His engine's been knocked out, he's being shot at by a gearing with an Iowa at point-blank range, and at very, very low speed he's unable to turn quickly enough to bring his starboard torpedo launchers to bear against the Iowa so he can take him down with him. The Atago's doomed, but all he really wants to do is make sure he takes that American Tier 9 battleship down as well. Luckily for the Atago, the Iowa helps him out here by sailing straight into the firing arc of the rear portside torpedo launchers. And just as the Atago is about to go down, he does manage to get his torpedoes away. So we can thank the Iowa for that one. It's not going to be enough to save the Atago, of course, but at least he managed to take the Iowa with him. So now it's 2 versus 2. Captain Locke's team have a Montana, the American Tier 10 battleship, and they also have the Shimakaze, the Japanese Tier 10 destroyer. The enemy team have a pair of destroyers. There's one of them, the gearing. They do at least know where the gearing is. Shortly afterwards, we're switching to the perspective of the Montana, and he's closing in on the location of that gearing. Now, obviously the gearing is going to be firing torpedoes from the smokescreen, but the Montana's doing what he needs to do to minimise the amount of damage that he's going to take from the gearing's torpedoes. Now, that's obviously caused flooding. So the Montana has used his damage control ability to take charge of the flooding and ensure that he takes no further damage, and now starts healing up. And now the Montana has that gearing exactly where he wants him. He's going to spot him any second now, and the gearing has already fired his torpedoes. That gearing is now screwed. He's only got half of his health remaining, and with a salvo from the forward main batteries, half of that is shaved off. There are shots coming in from the Shimakaze. The gearing is burning. The Montana's secondaries are opening up on him. There is no way he's going to reload his torpedoes in time to finish off the Montana before he's been killed, and his guns are never going to do it. So they sink the gearing, they finish capping Bravo, they then hold 2 flags, and there's only 1 enemy destroyer left. They've got this game in the bag. Step forward the Shimakaze, determined to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Okay, it's only 1 torpedo hit, it's not fatal. But why would you fire torpedoes across the bows of a friendly battleship? The gearing was going to die. The Shimakaze was even shooting at him. That made no sense whatsoever. It was a reckless move, but it's only 1 torpedo. The Montana isn't going to sink from 1 torpedo. Well, actually he might, because his damage control is on cooldown. He's flooding. He had to use the damage control earlier to stop the flooding caused by the gearing's torpedoes. So while that fire has just burnt itself out naturally, the flooding continues. The Montana is doomed. But the Shimakaze can still redeem himself by sinking that remaining enemy destroyer. Except no, he can't do that either, because once team damage crosses a certain threshold in World of Warships, it's reflected back on the team damager. So that Shimakaze took all of the flooding damage that he's inflicting on the Montana. So the Shimakaze has managed to sink not only the Montana, but himself, and snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. You may be getting a sense of deja vu from our next offering, because something very, very similar was featured in a World of Warships replay last week. This is Minecraft 98, along with Little Hippo, and they're both in a Bismarck division in a Tier 10 battle on the Two Brothers map. 2 Tier 8 battleships, Tier 10 battle, Two Brothers map. It really doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what's going to happen next. Yep, that's right, full speed ahead, straight down the middle, and damn the torpedoes. I really do feel like I shouldn't be encouraging this sort of thing. I mean, because I know for a fact that if I put videos up showing this kind of thing happening on Two Brothers, more and more people are going to be encouraged to try it for themselves. Guys, most of the time, what you're about to see ends in complete disaster. But when it works, and we're not all special little snowflakes, so 9 times out of 10 it doesn't work. But when it does work, it is the stuff of legends. Completely predictably, there's a carrier in play, and they have been made the second they rush the mouth of the channel. Little Hippo up ahead is already shedding health at a furious rate, as I think it's the Minotaur on the enemy team. Well, it's not just the Minotaur on the enemy team, there are a whole bunch of ships on the enemy team shelling these guys as they negotiate the channel mouth over here. Luckily, the carriers in this battle are only tier 8s, so their anti-aircraft defences do stand something of a chance against this torpedo bomber attack coming in. And they are going to shoot most of them down. But the enemy carrier is still going to get some torpedoes away, and that's going to cause problems for Little Hippo, because he's going to have to turn in order to not get torpedoed. And that means, well, Minecraft 98 has seen it coming, so he's slowing down to ensure that he doesn't ram Little Hippo in the side of the ship, prevent him from being able to straighten out again as he takes the inevitable hits broadside on from that enemy Bismarck and North Carolina. So, nice little bit of teamwork there. Minecraft 98 making sure that he doesn't make a bad situation worse for Little Hippo with the Bismarck up ahead. Now, I'm pretty sure one of those two enemy battleships is firing high explosive. So, well, that could have been substantially worse for Little Hippo. He's still losing a fair old amount of health, however, and Minecraft 98 is not firing high explosive, and that's why he's able to citadel the North Carolina for nearly 20,000 damage. North Carolina didn't like that very much, but, you know, if you're going to sail broadside onto a battleship, that is a paddling. So he's now firing up the engines and trying to get the hell out of there before he takes even more damage. Of course, everybody is in range of the Bismarck's secondaries, because, well, that's just what the Bismarck's secondaries are like. So all kinds of fires are being set, and they're pummeling the crap out of that North Carolina. Now, he's going to be out of line of fire very, very soon. Looks like Little Hippo just took another dive bomber strike there and was burning and has used his damage control. So now he's low on health, and Minecraft 98 moves forward to start taking some hits for him. It's important that they keep all of their guns in play. 16 15-inch guns are a damn sight better than 8. Player 3 just entered the match. The USS Montana. American Tier 10 battleship. He's low on health. He's taken hits from the secondaries. He's taken armor-piercing penetrations. But the Montana is entirely capable of biting back. And that was 40,000 damage inflicted on Minecraft by the Montana's 16-inch gun batteries. But the Montana is sailing broadside on to a pair of battleships. Say it with me, boys and girls. That's a Paddlin. And that is when player 4 enters the match. Another Tier 10, this time the Minotaur, the British Tier 10 light cruiser. And he is playing a very, very dangerous game here. Why would you expose the broadside of a light cruiser to 16 15-inch guns unless it was to try to get his torpedoes away? And yep, there they are. But he's never going to hit anything with his torpedoes at that angle. And even a Bismarck's notoriously inaccurate 15-inch guns are going to have a hard time missing a Minotaur at that range. And Little Hippo takes the kill. And that is when player 5 enters the match. Oh, you're screwed now, boys. Daddy's home. Remember, it's of limited use angling your armour against the Yamato because the guns are so big they can overmatch the bow armour of any battleship in the game, including the Bismarck. Now, if that Yamato isn't greedy and he doesn't try to get the rear gun turret firing as well, and if he points his bows towards this pair of Bismarcks, they're going to have a real hard time inflicting any kind of damage on him. And so the Yamato is greedy and does try to get the rear gun turret firing, and exposes the broadside of his ship to 2 Bismarcks, at such a short range that even the Bismarck's notoriously inaccurate guns are going to have no problems hitting it. And even a 15-inch gun at this range is going to tear right through that Yamato's belt armour, and he's sailing broadside on to 16 of them. Say it with me, boys and girls, that's a Paddlin. Whatever else happens in this game, I think Little Hippo and Minecraft 98 can rest assured that they definitely got their money's worth out of their Bismarcks. The rest of the team are going to do their level best to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. They just lost 4 ships in 20 seconds. Okay, 2 of them were Little Hippo and Minecraft 98. But whatever else happens in this match, Little Hippo and Minecraft 98 definitely pulled their weight. Our final clip today comes from Lego Genius 16. This is him and his Yamato, and he witnessed several remarkable occurrences all during the course of one World of Warships battle. First, he was privileged to witness the sinking of a Conqueror. I think that may be a server first. Legends say that if the stars and the planets line up in exactly the right position once every 150 years, you get to see a Khabarovsk being sunk in the same game as a Conqueror. So that was remarkable, but, well, not really something worthy of a YouTube video. What's about to happen next is, though, Lego is busy mulling things over, trying to decide who his next victim is going to be. Is it going to be the North Carolina? Is it going to be the Tirpitz? When his attention is distracted by the collision warning. And what the hell? What's that Shimakaze doing? We didn't just imagine it, did we? There was a Shimakaze. There he is. What the hell is he doing? Well, he slams the brakes on because he doesn't want to sail around the corner straight into a wall of skill. And of course the enemy Tirpitz takes advantage of the fact that he's now broadside on to him to attempt to deliver a paddling of his own. Clearly, Lego can't just sit here. But slowing down is giving him a chance to bring his turrets around, and maybe if he takes the corner tight enough, the torpedoes and the Shimakaze aren't going to have time to arm. The guy's engine's clearly running. We can see smoke coming from his funnel, but he's not moving. His guns aren't even pointing this way. What the hell is going on? Bingo! There we go. Not enough to sink him, however, and that Tirpitz is punishing Lego for sailing broadside onto him for so long. So Lego starts speeding up, and the Tirpitz readies his guns for another salvo. Shots are in the air. That was only 2 turrets. He's going to be swinging the back end of the ship around to get the 2 rear turrets firing. He can clearly still see Lego because the Shimakaze is spotting him. Shots out. Oh, that was unfortunate. Well, depends on your perspective, of course. It was very fortunate for Lego Genius. Not so much for the Tirpitz or the Shimakaze. And then, because he appreciates the irony of the situation just as much as the next guy, he goes after the Tirpitz and teaches him the error of his ways. And, oh look, what a surprise, the Tirpitz is sailing broadside on to a Yamato. And yes, okay, the Yamato's sailing broadside onto the Tirpitz as well, and the Tirpitz is pretty tough, but 15-inch guns versus 18.1-inch guns? My money's on the Yamato. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.